if you want to be a travel influencer, but you've never done a brand deal with a hotel or a venue before, how do you go about getting those brand deals? The key is that you need example content before you reach out to them and pitch a collaboration. But if you've never done it before, how do you get that content? I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to do this. It is easy, it is cheap, and it does not necessarily involve you traveling all over the world to create content to then use as an example. So let me break down my favorite resource for you to be able to access really cool venues with great pools, great accommodations, and really easy access to creating content you can then leverage into paid brand deals with different hotels and venues. There's a website called Resort Pass where you can buy day passes to different hotels and venues to access their amenities. This means if you buy a day pass, you'll be able to use their pool, sometimes their gym, sometimes their tennis courts, depending on what the hotels have. So I want you to go to Resort Pass and I want you to start looking in your area. We're not going to branch out just yet, but type in your zip code and see if there's anybody that participates in your area. If there is, you're going to start to look for what's going to make the best content for you. You're going to look for really great pools, really great amenities, things that are going to be scenic, and you're going to try to go on days when it's not going to be super crowded, meaning you're not going to do this in the middle of summer on the busy days. You are going to look for the off times. You're going to be looking for the middle of the work week while other people are not accessing it because weekends are going to be busier than the weekdays. So you're looking for opportunities to go to different venues. Now, not everywhere is going to participate in Resort Pass. In fact, I do not have anywhere near me. It's not something that I can do. But if I'm traveling, if I'm going to visit a friend, or if I'm going somewhere for a convention, if I'm going to do something, I will look to see what's around it. I can then either extend my stay by a little bit, or I can, in the context of what I'm already doing, just pop in for an hour to take some content. I'm going to buy that day pass to access the pools, and I'm going to hit as many hotels as possible. So recently, I went on a trip to visit a friend down in Florida. She allowed me to stay with her, so I was not lodging in a hotel or in an Airbnb. I was just staying with my friend. But we got those day passes and we hit up 2, 3, 4 pools in the context of a couple of days. I was able to then get my content. This is a really great way for you to show off different things. And if you bring different outfits to wear, you'll have a lot of different content. One of the things that I really liked to do was to bring a bathing suit and then wraps and rash guard tops and different pants that you can be wearing so I could swap out outfits so I could film in different areas of each venue. So each pool had different locations. I can make it look like multiple venues just by swapping out pieces of my outfits without even having to go change in a bathroom somewhere. I could just layer things on and layer things off to give myself different looks. And by accessing Resort Pass, I had direct access to these hotels to create the content for only a couple of dollars. Now, if you are going to use Resort Pass, keep in mind that you do not have to stay at those hotels. If you are going to be traveling somewhere, get the cheapest hotel that you can find. It doesn't matter where you're staying as long as it's safe and it's clean. Then you can travel, you can get an Uber, you can have somebody drive you, you can have a shuttle or a bus or whatever it happens to be to get to the other venues. You can take a couple of days at the cheap hotel and stay overnight, but then travel to the fancier hotels with Resort Pass to get access to them so you can create the content without having to pay tons of money to stay there overnight. This is a really easy way to get access to content that you can actually create inside of these beautiful venues. But you don't just have to rely on Resort Pass to get access to really cool places to take content. You can reach directly out to hotels near you. This is something I do as well. But keep in mind, you want to check it out before you reach out to them. Not all hotels, not all venues are created equally, and not all of them will lend themselves to building up your portfolio as a travel influencer. So you want to look for things that are picturesque and are going to actually level up what you're doing. Certain aesthetics just aren't going to do that, especially if you want to be in a very specific direction or place in the travel niche. So you have to be very careful that anywhere you're contacting, you are aligning their aesthetic with what you are doing inside of yours. So with that in mind, you're going to then reach out to the appropriate people at the hotel and say, I am a travel influencer or I'm an aspiring travel influencer. There's a lot of different ways you can broach this. One of the ways that I like to use is I am local to you and I'm a travel influencer. But because I'm local, I want to give back to the local community as well. I would love the opportunity to come to your venue and to create content there. I am looking specifically to do X, Y, and Z, and very clearly spell out what you need. If you need access to the pool, to their tennis courts, to whatever, this is what I would like to do and create. This content will then go, and you're going to very specifically say where on your social media, where on your website this is going to be created for. If you're going to do articles or blog posts with this or YouTube videos, spell that all out so they know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how long you're going to be there, and your attitude about going to create at their venue. If you're going to be snotty about it, they're probably not going to bring you in. But if you're doing this truly to be helpful, to create content for them, they may allow you to come and join them for a particular amount of time. They'll usually give you a day and a time which you can then come. It usually tends to be a downtime when they don't have as many people in the space to annoy as you are creating your content. And this is going to be your time to go work with them. Now, keep in mind, you will likely have to give them some free content. That's the trade. They allow you to come and create your content, but you have to give them some content. But this is actually a good thing. Now, I know we typically say that influencers should never be doing unpaid brand deals, but this is not a brand deal. This is growing your portfolio, and by giving them some free content. Not everything that you create, specific curated content that you are handing to them, they are then going to be able to use this on their social platforms and on their website. If you are very strategic about the small collection you're curating for them and handing to them, you will be able to position yourself to be shown on their social media and, better yet, on their website. Now you're going to be very mindful of what they're posting. You're going to be very mindful to watch their website. And the second you see your content on there, which they should be crediting back to you, we hope that they're tagging you and they're linking back to you and all of those things, we are going to take screenshots of all of that. If you make their social media, screenshot it, and then be very mindful of it for about a month or two. Watch their analytics, get the number of likes, the number of comments, get all of that information. You're going to be able to use this when you're pitching other companies. You also want to watch what they're doing on their website. If you make their homepage, if you make one of their other pages on their website, screenshot the entire thing with their name very clearly displayed on this. These can then be used as part of your portfolio to show, I have worked with these companies and they liked my content enough to represent it on their website or on their social media. This elevates your standing. So while we don't typically give away free content during the portfolio building part of this, or if you're working with a venue that's a dream venue that's going to be so good for building your business, absolutely give them some free content as a show of goodwill and appreciation that will build up your relationship with them, that might even blossom into a paid campaign or other paid campaigns, but you are going to then be able to use that as credibility for yourself as well. It's a win-win situation all the way around, and we do not need to fuss over being paid for this small curated batch of content you're then handing to the hotel. Once you've created your content and you've given them your best pieces of content, which, by the way, you can also use on your own platforms. It's not like this is exclusive to that company. You can use it on your own and you can give it to them. You're now going to use this content to approach another hotel or venue. You're going to say, hey, I'm local to you, or hey, I'm local in the area for a few days and I want to reach out to you to see if I can create content on your behalf. Here's what I'm doing and here's what I've done before. Would you like me to come and visit your venue and create a little bit of content for you and to put it on my social platforms as well? If they agree, you can then use this to build on these relationships. Once you have a handful of these, or at least it looks like you have a handful of these because you were smart about your angles and about changing how you look, so one venue can turn into 5 venues in terms of the content that you're creating, people aren't going to know. You now have the ability to start pitching those paid collaborations with different hotels and with different venues. And remember, you're using this content in your social platforms as well, but it doesn't have to be all about the hotel. Oftentimes travel influencers think they just have to show the behind the scenes of the hotel, just showing what the hotel looks like, but you can use this content in many different contexts. Things like travel guides, local things to do in the area. You can create guides and do collaborative content with the different venues you're working at. So let's backtrack this just a little bit. Let's say you are going to Las Vegas for the weekend. We're going to stay somewhere cheap, but we're going to use Resort Pass to access the different amenities of different fancier hotels. This is going to cost you way less money and create way more content. And yes, you will be doing specified pieces for each of the different venues that you're visiting. That's a great choice. But another thing that you can be doing is to create collaborative efforts. Things to do in Las Vegas. The best hotels to take photos in Las Vegas. The best pools in Las Vegas. Things to do when you stay at this hotel in Las Vegas. You're going to go through and you're going to talk about different areas and different things. And don't forget, as you're creating this content, it should not all be about the hotel. Go out into the towns. What is there to do? Are there fun flea markets to go visit? Is there a really cool movie theater people should be seeing? Is there a park that people should be checking out? Is there a fancy restaurant that everybody goes to? Look for the things that locals like to do and that people who are vacationing there like to do, and make those guides and include the hotels in it. The more you can tag these different entities, the more they're going to see you. The more they see you, the more likely they are to want to work with you in the future. So if you created content there through your resort pass access, through collaborating with them on that free capacity, you are going to bring all this in, and the more times you can tag them in new and unique content that is helpful, that is getting hits, that is getting engagement, the more they're going to take notice of you and ask you back for a paid collaboration focusing on them, featuring things to do, things that they can use on their own websites. If you write a really good blog post about things to do locally, and you include them in multiple ways. Maybe it's the restaurant or the cafe located in the hotel. Maybe it's some extra things attached to the hotel that people can do for free. You're bringing them into this, you're representing them, and they want that content on their own platforms to get those hits. They want to drive traffic there. They might just hire you to create this on their behalf. There's a lot of ways that you can do this to build up your platform, even if you've never worked with a hotel before. Now, if you are a travel influencer or an aspiring travel influencer or an aspiring influencer of any kind, we have tons of content from me and from industry leaders in the influencer space, everything from beauty to travel and more, because we want to help you to make this your most profitable year ever. So we break down everything you need to know about marketing on social media, creating your content, saving time and effort, avoiding burnout, and making sure you're getting in front of the right eyes to get the most profitable brand deals possible inside of this space. Drop your questions down below, and we'll see you in our upcoming episodes. Daily episodes drop every single day so that you can navigate the world of social media, your content creation, and making sure that this is your most profitable year ever. We'll see you in the next episode.